Now, people always tell me, you gotta follow the science. Like, Xavier, you gotta follow the science. And I'd be like, all right. Now, this is a video of, I believe it's the Belgium prime minister. And of course, a lot of these different politicians, they all want to do the photo op. I did the other one with another movie star in the very beginning. We showed the videos with all the different nurses and doctors, and they were just like faking the funk, right? They were just like sitting there with a syringe, and I was like, "Hey, you forgot to take the cap off," and they're like, "Oh shit, I forgot to take the cap off." You see people like this one, right? No gloves, right? No alcohol. They're just like, forget it. Just like, we're just going straight in. We're not even trying. Now, this is the Belgium prime minister, right? And like I said, you got a lot of people out here that are just faking the funk, and we're gonna take a watch. I'm gonna cover some interesting stuff. Yesterday we talked about how CNN basically called all of you idiots if you don't want to take it. They just be like, damn anti-vaxxers, you must be a Republican Trumper. But hey, when you see stuff like this, I mean, it kind of causes me to think. Just go ahead and lower this. Kind of causes me to think. Again, this is, I believe, it's the Belgium prime minister. They ain't got no gloves, and they're like, "Oops, forgot to take the cap off." Right? And he's like, "How you feel afterwards?" "I feel great, amazing. Huh? Got my double shot. Thank you, Johnson and Johnson. Thank you, Pfizer." Let's just watch that one more time. And they're just like, "Damn it, you caught this from the wrong camera angle." And it's just like the Bible says. What people try to do, I guess, in secret, the Lord always exposes. And they're just like, some of these people. I don't think some of these people are believing the science. And I talked about this last time, right? 46 residents in a Spanish nursing home, and they die. They're like, what's going on here? And this science is a little harder to find. This science you actually got to go digging for, not the propaganda that you constantly get bombarded with on TV. This science, a little bit harder to find. You really gotta dive deep to kind of find it, and pray you don't get the search engine that blocks all this stuff. But this is quite interesting. 46 in one nursing home, right? And then it'd be like, well, they never said it was 100%. And I'd be like, all right. Yeah, all these people out here, and they're just like, shoot. Anyways, moving forward. In Kenya, this was actually quite interesting. And it's not just something that is restricted to Kenya, right? And you see Kenya women, this is, they raise concern over, they're like, where'd it go? They're like, where'd my menstrual cycle go? They're like, I got it. They're like, is that part of the side effects as well? Like, are those the known side effects? And like, damn it, damn guinea pigs. And then, of course, coming out of the Daily Mail, the UK, it's very similar. It says scientists launch a study, right? Scientists launch a study for those who took it. It says now they're like having heavy blood flow. What's going on here? I'm bleeding like a pig. And like causing period changes after hundreds of women notice irregularities. And it says 25,000 women had signed a questionnaire. They were like, what's going on here? Like, we would like to get some sort of information. And of course, it's not something that is restricted to just the UK, even in the US, and of course in Israel. Some women has report very irregular menstrual cycles and bleeding. Like, health minister says that there's just a few reports of such side effects. Right? There's nothing to see here. It would be difficult to establish a direct link. It's always that way. It's like you took this particular experimental medication, and they're just like, well, we're gonna do an internal review, and we'll let you know if we believe. And it's just like, come on, man. It's like, ain't nobody out here gonna be like, yeah, this is what it was. It's not gonna happen. Even they had people getting blood clots. They had people getting blood clots because of the AstraZeneca and the Johnson & Johnson one, and then like a month later they were just like, nothing to see here. It was like, throw it back on the market. Next. Who's next? Who's next? Did you get yours yet? No. Step up to the bar. And for people, they were just like, you're an anti-vaxxer. You don't believe the science. And then you get this New Jersey family, and they were like, we all got it. And they're like, what the F happened?
A New Jersey family is questioning the efficacy of the Johnson & Johnson shot. 3 members of the family tested positive for COVID after getting the shot in March. Their father remains critically ill. News 12 New Jersey's Chris Keating has more on this family.
And it's like, oops. But then they'll be like, well, these are the outliers, and these people are obese, and this dude's up in the hospital, probably ain't gonna make it. You can see he's on a BiPAP right now. And again, not exactly the picture of health, but for a lot of people out there that are thinking, well, I'm gonna get it, and life gonna go back to normal, and then this poor dude ends up in the hospital. He ends up in the ICU. He ends up what looks like in the ICU. He's got a telemonitor in the background. Looks like he's on a BiPAP. So he ain't looking too hot, right? Ain't looking too hot. His wife in the video is also sick, but she ain't looking all that great either, right? You can see her right here, right? And this is what 30% of America looks like, right? 30% of America are obese. Excuse me. Yeah, 30% of America is considered obese, and 70% of America is considered overweight. So for a lot of people thinking, I'm gonna be just fine, I don't know. I don't know. So when people ask me, they're like, hey, did you get it? And I'm like, nah, not yet. Maybe if I get held down, when I'm in the gulag, and they're like, take it or die, and I'm just be like, all right. I have to think on that one. And that'll probably be me. I'll probably be one of the last few to get tossed into the gulag.
So we're focusing on those areas now. Since we have vaccines, we're going into the high priority neighborhoods. We're focusing on the companies. We're going into high priority neighborhoods, literally knocking on doors to pull people down in the high priority neighborhoods. So we're really having a targeted approach. We have a 2-prong approach here. This is the plan. The plan is limit mobility to protect our ICUs. The plan to get needles into people's arms. We're going into places of worship. We're going into companies. We're going into neighborhoods.
And I'm just be like, I want to wait and see. But when people ask me why, I just show them stuff like this, or like that 15-year-old kid that heart exploded in his chest, and they were just like, there's nothing, no way related to the vaccine. And I'm just like, all right, but I ain't gonna take it. What you choose to do with your body is your own choice. And it's important to take in all the facts, not just the facts that they want you to take in. So a lot of times you got to do your own, digging. You got to be your own journalist. You got to be willing to be your own statistician, right? You got to be able to do your own research. You got to be able to do your own study. A lot of these doctors will come out here and they'll just be like, I ain't see shit. I don't know what you're talking about. No blood clots or nothing. They were just like, did you get your shot? No? All right, take it. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to wait. I like the Bible says, the foolish person believes in everything, but the wise person considers his steps. And people just rushing out there like lemmings, thinking that people are being on the up and up and that everything is kosher, as they say. And I'll just be like, that might not necessarily be the case. But again, what you choose to do is your own decision. I encourage you neither way, right? You have to do your own research, and you have to draw your own conclusion. Now, I will say, if you think that we're going to go back to normal, that's just not going to happen. That's not on the table, as they say, right? Even though, of course, they put that out there, but in the long term, right? The long term, that is not on the table. And so the men of the nation have to come to a conclusion about what are they going to do, right? Are you going to march off into slavery, or are the men of the nation going to take a stand? At what point are people going to make a decision? We already see it in other states. Other states are just been like, you know what, we're banning all this stuff, right? And kind of like in the days of the flood, the ark doors may close. There may not be enough room. So you might find yourself in an area where you may have to take a stand for you. You may have to take a stand for your family. You may have to be the one who has to deal with the confrontations. And I have no doubt moving forward in places like New York, they're just going to be like, well, shit, if you don't take it, well, then you're fired. I'm like, all right, peace.